Attention everyone, this is an emergency broadcast. The unpleasant noise you are about to hear coming from your radio is not a mistake. Please do not turn off your radio, but turn up the volume on your receiver as high as it can go, so that you can make the sound we broadcast as loud as possible.
About this apparent disagreement between the U.S. and the Japanese, let's look at what the head of the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission said today to Congress about one of those Fukushima reactors.
We believe that secondary containment has been destroyed, and there is no water in the spent fuel pool. And we believe that radiation levels are extremely high.
In other words, the Americans saying that it's worse than Japanese officials have let on. All of this leads us to our chief environmental affairs correspondent, Ann Thompson. Ann, we thought something was up when the Americans wanted their people further away from it than the Japanese standard earlier today. What's behind this apparent disagreement?
Well, Brian, it's a crisis in the confidence of the information they are getting from the Japanese government. In fact, tonight, Tokyo Electric Power Company is denying that spent fuel pool is indeed dry. It says that everything is stable at Reactor 4, and you have the head of public affairs for the NRC, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, who's trying to walk back some of Mr. Jasko's comments today, saying that they understand the Japanese are denying that there is a problem at Reactor 4. They're trying to run that to ground, but what he's saying is they are erring on the side of caution. They're trying to be very conservative because this is a very serious situation.
Fukushima's governor has urged the Japanese central government to offer more accurate and truthful information on the radiation leak affecting the country's citizens. Governor Yuhei Sato made the remarks on Wednesday at a meeting with crisis officials and specialists in Fukushima City. The city is about 60 kilometers inland from the nuclear plant. In a makeshift command center there, Hundreds of Japanese government workers, police officers, as well as others aiding rescue operations are struggling to stay on top of the devastation caused by the quake and tsunami and the looming nuclear crisis. The prefecture's governor said transparency of information is one of the key issues in the government's dealing of the disaster.
I have made an urgent request to Prime Minister Khan. The government must give people in Japan accurate and truthful information on the radiation leakage.
Japan's Prime Minister has addressed the nation as fears intensify about a possible nuclear meltdown at a power plant struck by last Friday's catastrophic earthquake and tsunami. The company running the Fukushima nuclear power plant has admitted meltdown is a possibility following 2 fresh explosions at the complex, and there are also fears of radioactive leakage with reports of damage to the structure protecting the reactor. And now we can go live to Japan, and our correspondent Ivor Bennett is there for us. Hello there, Ivor. So radiation levels have risen both inside and outside the plant. How bad is the situation, and what's the risk of nuclear disaster now, and what's being done to try and prevent it?
The situation now is very critical indeed. There's a very realistic threat of a nuclear meltdown now. That's according to the Prime Minister, Naoto Kan. He's just come out and addressed the nation, warning people to stay indoors if they haven't been evacuated already. This follows 2 explosions this morning. The last one, previously intact reactors. The second one, actually, one reactor that wasn't even turned on. It had been shut down at the time of the earthquake, and we now could be on the verge of a major nuclear catastrophe. We know radiation has leaked there have been serious radiation leaks at both reactors. The radiation levels are 400 maximum level that's normally absorbed in 1 year. Previously, after the first explosion this morning, those levels were at 8 times. So just in the last few moments, they've shot up, and it is a very critical situation indeed. And this is the first time, actually, that the Tokyo Electric Power Company and the Prime Minister have come out to say that we could be on the verge of a catastrophe here, and there is major, very realistic possibility of meltdown. So this is very significant indeed, and the situation is critical.
In the secret, ladies and gentlemen, they are at least, very bare minimum, 50 to 100 years ahead, beyond what you can even imagine.
outside Christchurch. This giant rock has just fallen on the RSA building, and you can see it's crushed the building there, and the cars